Welcome back to the channel where I tell you what trades I'm taking and what I'm expecting next. Without further ado, let's dive straight into the charts. So, over the past few days, Bitcoin has been very choppy. We're speaking about the short trade that I was in over here. Now, I ended up closing it prematurely, and I ended up re-entering a very small amount and only capturing a little bit of this drop. The reason being is because we were forming this very odd triangle formation, and I don't like being in trades where you've got this. If you go back in my last video, you can see I was talking about that here. So this is what the trade was. It was a $30,000 position. I ended up closing prematurely and then re-entering a smaller one, which is about $5,000 worth. So much less profit is what it is. Sometimes you have those situations, but you get the trade right, but you don't feel comfortable with it. I just didn't feel comfortable. And at the end of the day, I'm happy that I just followed my intuition in, even if the trade did play out. So obviously it has played out pretty well. Now, what you guys want to know is what's happening next, because in that last prediction, that was pretty correct. And the base case was we were going to drop lower, hit those targets to the downside. So price has been in this tight little range here. So what we can see straight off the bat is we formed a range. We've got our value area low coming at $89,000, which is actually $90,000 because it might as well be. And you've got the value area high at $90,400. So it's not that big of a range. The deviation's a 0.5, so it's really small. What's key here is looking at what the order flow is doing. So if we go straight over the order flow, we can see that there's not much bids and asks here, right? So if you want to plot this out, you've got CVD going up, but you've also got that accompanying with the fact that open interest was going down. So really what that would be is shorts are closing during this phase as we were rising up, and we're here now. So what does that look like as to what would be expected next? So shorts closing here, really what to me it's saying is we're in neutral price action. There is no significant divergence, absorption, none of that's happening right now. That's why price is just ranging like this. So the fact that there's no bullish divergence, to me, I'm leaning more bearish because of that. Usually at these lows, you want to see some absorption come in. You want to see it to start being bearish. Now, I think there's a high likelihood if we build liquidity onto the upside, we sweep the upside before we go to the downside. So what that would look like is trading like this, right? You're trading a bit more ranging, you spike up for a bit, maybe go up a little higher, and then you resume back into the range, and then the expectation would be go back down to the value area low, which would be here. And then from that point, in the context of what just happened, I would then expect a breakdown to further downside and take out these lows and go to my target to $87,000. Now, I had a comment on the last video. Someone was saying that I follow a trader that they know, and I follow many different traders. And what I do is I conglomerate all the data from my different trading streams over the years. I've created quite a good following of who I like to listen to, private channels, all that sort of stuff. And then I'll decipher what I think is valuable and if it aligns with my opinion. And I think if you're not going to be listening to other analysts that you believe are credible, then you're fooling yourself. You're being silly. So at the end of the day, everyone sort of stabs information from each other, not in a manipulative way, but you're basically just trying to get a clear picture and a narrative and a context which you, based on all your different data from previous experiences with certain traders, you can form a data set of probabilities in your head. So that's how you build intuition. So if I'm following 5 really good traders, and if they all are starting to flick really bullish, and I'm starting to see the signs myself, then I have a bigger proclivity to enter with conviction because of the fact that I've backtested their data and seen their hit rates, all that sort of stuff, and I understand how different traders trade. So that really helps with forming a trade plan. So, that's something I do, and I don't think that's a bad thing to do. And I think if you're going to demonize that, then it's quite silly, because you want to obviously listen to the best, right? And the reality of the situation is there's been times where I disagree with a lot of the traders that I follow, and turns out most of the time that I'm glad I do that, because I have a different bias sometimes, and I might not agree with what they say, and you can save a lot of money like that. I had traders who were trying to catch this low very early, and I was expecting lower targets to the monthly, and I was saying that in the videos. And I did take a little scalp, but I didn't took a giant trade here, like up at these levels, and a lot of people got burned. So yeah, anyway, going forward from what we were looking at, we have this range here, and we know that the targets are down here, guys. I have my target set. I have $87,000 as my ballpark region. I want to see it hit. So as you know, you got this. It's very much in line with the value area low of this range. So it ties into the lows of here, goes into there, and it also has a daily level just right here. So if we can just get ourselves into this region, then I think that's going to be very good for a long trade. Obviously, you don't long straight away. You'd be looking for the potential long for it. Now, for the short trade, what do I want to see here for me to actually take this short, if I do take it? Well, for me to take a short, I want to see price stab into this level, This high and then this high would be my level for a short. Other than that, I'm happy to wait for price to reach my level, whether it's down here or here, assess order flow at the time. And then from there, I will then take a trade. Okay, I'm not going to be chasing the market, trying to make a trade. Support's here. That's simple. That's where support is. I'm not going to change that. I'm not going to wish the market goes up from here. I know that's where my support is, and I'll be waiting for that to be hit for long. If we don't hit it and we rocket up, that's okay. I don't lose any capital, and I collect more data through experience. And the reality of the situation is it'd just be an unprobable trade because you've got a lot of resistance up here. You've got a lot of liquidity being built here and a key level of support, which I want to see hit. And it's like, to me, that it just wouldn't make sense. We'd just rocket up all the way right now. That being said, we can definitely have that little break out of the range and go up. And then obviously, if we claim this POC, then we can go higher. But to just do this like that, I just wouldn't expect it right now. Considering the market structure, like this sort of candle, I wouldn't expect that candle right here, okay? Now, it could happen, but I personally don't expect it. If I was expecting anything, it'd be the opposite, it'd be like that. But I'm not expecting that either. I'm more expecting a chop around, come up, and then slowly take out these lows. That's what my base case is right now. Now, let's look at momentum and where momentum is shifting and how that is playing out in the marketplace. So if we go to the weekly and we chuck on one of our, yeah, there we go. We go weekly, a momentum metric, doesn't matter which one. And then you go and you look at this. So we know we're in that region for a potential low. You got it here, you got it here, you got it here, you got it here. So that's all at these points. So that's very, 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 very key. And if we zoom in on the daily, what can we see? So if you go to the daily, you've got a large wave down. So it was a very, very big sell. And you've got this very much choppy action here. So what we might do is like come over here, break down a little bit, go like that, take out this low, go here. And then from that, you go up 87 to the upside. That's what I truly expect. And by the way, trade with your own information. I'm just giving my information, what I'm trading with and how I'm playing the market. Because I'm not rushing for trades. I don't need trades to work out for me. I don't need to rush and make more capital. I'm happy to wait and be patient. And if you want to be the one chasing, then go for it, but not my type of style. Go to the 4 hour, what can we see? 4 hour, we've got a little bit of a bottom here. It might just range a little bit longer. And if we want to look at the waves of money flow you got coming here, choppy, 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 probably go down a bit to take that low. Now, structurally, what are we seeing? What we are seeing is, well, my eyes specifically point this out. Liquidity highs have been taken out with, I would say, much rather conviction. You come up and you break down failed auction. So it doesn't really give much time to build much resting liquidity above the highs. So I would say this one has resting liquidity. These ones got jabbed out. And they've got a lot of resting liquidity just under these lows here. So a flush up, down would make sense. But looking at order flow, you don't have much orders here in terms of short orders. So it might just drop below regardless. Like really two scenarios for me. It's either that way and down or just down now. Okay? That's what I'm expecting. If it rockets up, go for it. But my expectations are going to be one of these two scenarios. So either way, down's my expectation. But I'm not comfortable taking a short here at these lows because you're technically in low territory, right? So if we want to chuck on a value area low, I don't want to take a short right in the POC. Okay, I don't want to do that. It's just not good trade etiquette. Like, it's just silly. You wait for key levels of deviation, and those key levels of deviation are going to be approximately down over here. So just be patient. If we get it, we get it. If we don't, we get it. I'll adjust you guys what I'm doing next. But I think that, well, that's my base case. Now let's have a look at resistance for when we do hit that, or if we do, where that resistance lies. Now, just to let you guys know, my base expectation would be go here, take out these lows, and then resume up to the upside. And hit some levels that let's have a look at, because I don't exactly know where we're going to hit. It just depends on the level that is going to have the most resistance, confluence, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Now, key things I'm looking at personally: volume. Where's volume residing? Where's all this happening? So for me, we've got a key market structure pivot at this point. Let's drag that out, see how much precedence that has. Tap, 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 tap. So this is very key level. $99,000 is very key. We've got a key level here at 97, which is the swing highs of this downtrend plus the VWAP there. And I believe that also ties in very well with, doesn't tie in that well, that's okay, because obviously the VWAP's gone down here. So that would mean that would probably average out to around 90 something, which means these highs would be the ones that would coincide with. So how you could view that is this would drag out. These highs have a little bit of liquidity. So that could be a level of another ping pong before you go up. But I don't want to trade that and look at that. I know my levels where I'm looking at for now. So I'll take that off. So I would say $97,000 is the first one to 99. That's a very, very key level because that would also mean that would go down to it. You've got the daily at 105, and then you've got very key support at around 109 to 111 or $112,000 here. So if we want to put that on, look, it looks just like this. Okay, so let's just highlight the boxes so we have them all set up. I'm a box guy, so all right. So box of support, box of resistance. I had also this, it was 102, was it? Yeah, 102ish. That's over here. Put that there. We'll put that there. And then we had $97,000. So that's what I'm looking at, so you guys are aware. I'm not taking any trades until we enter either one of these regions. So long trade here. For me, I'm probably going to start it as a spot hold. And then going from there, I will probably use my collateral Bitcoin as perpetual trade on that. Just because when we get to that low, it will be a bit tricky, and validation will be the swing low here. But I probably wouldn't enter it straight away. I would just wait for it. I wouldn't be waiting for something like this so we can get a range and break out, then probably on the neckline break, you just jump in. So that's what I would expect. Obviously, it's going to be a bit more sharp because the Bitcoin price action has been very, very jagged. Yeah, that is what I'm looking at. I don't think there's anything else I really want to say other than the fact that the levels I'm looking at are going to be here, 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 and here. So scalp short, scalp to swing, and swing short here, swing long down here. If you want to do scalp trading, let's have a look on a zoomed in time frame for a scalp trade. You've got these lows down here. So that's a bit of liquidity. You've got one low here. So really I'll be looking at, for scalp long, I'll be looking at this level down here, 89 to, and then another scalp trade would be this low here to see if you can climb above it really quick. And then resistance would be the highs here to around this level here would be the level I'll be looking at for a short. So come up, go down. That's a scalp trade. So to look at that on a box frame, you'd be here, you go here, and then for the support, look for a scalp trade down there. Now, let me remove all this, so we can get a final picture of what this all looks like, okay? So, I hope that's very, very clear. Swing and then scalps for these more zoom. All right, guys, that is my video today. I encourage you all to go down to the links, make accounts, sign up for WEEX and Bybit. When you trade on them, it helps support this channel. It helps grow the channel. It helps me make better content for you guys so you can come out with the levels of interest in a very clear way, okay? I know a lot of traders here don't speak clearly. And I'm speaking very clearly. My money's where my mouth is. I'm doing it live in the time, okay? So, yeah, links are down below. I'll hop on the Moon Show too for videos there. You can pop over here and see that stuff down here. So you can see that there. And then monthly videos I do with the Ainsley team for more macro data. Okay, so if you're looking at the macro metrics and all that sort of stuff. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next upload. For now, catch you guys later.